Hi guys, my name is Ifeanyi Abraham and I'm the managing editor of TechSoma. I'm excited to be here at the Africa Tech Summit where we're speaking to some of the operators, startup founders, regulators and some of the supporters of the tech ecosystem here in Canada and as well as from around the world. Now with me here today I have Crista McInnis. She's the Regional Senior Trade Commissioner for the High Commission of Canada. And now, Crista, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview on short notice. Now, in terms of the focus of the Canadian High Commission in Kenya, can you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you do in the region?
So my team, the trade team, we work with Canadian companies, including our academic institutions, to support their interests in working in East Africa. So whether it's healthcare companies, tech companies, universities and colleges, we work with all of them to find Kenyan partners, East African partners, to expand their business, but also to strengthen ties in two-way trade.
Fantastic. Now, in terms of tech, what have you seen in terms of some of the tech companies that are looking for partners here and looking to do some work in East Africa?
It's interesting. I think the main thing is helping to educate the Canadian tech ecosystem on a lot of the innovation that we see on the ground in East Africa. It comes as a surprise to a lot of Canadians how advanced fintech services, financial services, digital services are in East Africa. So that's certainly something that we benefit from when we're partnering Canadian companies with local companies. But of course, our Canadian tech ecosystem also sees opportunities to bring some of their services to the market as well. So whether that's platforms for e-sales into North American markets, whether it is delivery of healthcare services to support frontline healthcare delivery, we see a lot of opportunities for the ecosystems in both countries and both regions to collaborate.
Fantastic. So Canada and Kenya, Canada and the rest of Africa has a very long relationship. How do you see this relationship evolving in the next year?
I think the starting point is really that across the continent there have been really strong relations between Canada and many countries on the continent, since independence for many countries. A lot of this has its foundation in education. We've worked really closely with education institutions all across the continent. Also in financial services, so a lot of the banking industry got its start by partnering with cooperatives from our Quebec financial services sector. And those ties over time have grown through movements of people studying in Canada, businesses moving in both directions. In terms of the future, I only see those ties strengthening just because of the really close people-to-people ties and the strong interest of our diaspora communities in Canada to contribute both to the Canadian economy but also to economies across the region.
Fantastic. Now, we're at the Africa Tech Summit, and there have been a lot of Canadian businesses with strong African ties, or African businesses with strong Canadian ties that have announced funding. So it's very fantastic to hear. Do you have any message for some of these businesses and for other businesses that are looking to Africa?
We just want to keep hearing from you. We want to keep introducing you to partners. For the Canadian companies who are here, we really want you to work with the Trade Commissioner Service and the trade officers at our high commissions to find local partners. We see so much upside to collaboration in the tech space.
Okay, so for people watching this video that are wondering how can they work more closely with the High Commission, what's the process?
So the thing to remember is that our primary objective in the trade side is really to be working and partnering with Canadian businesses. So we work first and foremost with Canadian businesses who are looking to identify international partners. For those businesses who might not know how to reach us, they can Google the Trade Commissioner Service, identify the country that they're sort of seeking opportunities in. That will help them identify the trade commissioners on the ground in those countries who can support their efforts to matchmake and meet partners. We also make an effort to get to know the local ecosystems and to get out into the community and meet companies so that we know who we can introduce our Canadian companies to. So for that, folks can reach out to the High Commission.
Fantastic. Thank you so much,
My
Crista,
pleasure.
for doing this interview with me on very short notice. To end our interviews, we always tell our guests to shout out to TechSoma Africa, TechSoma Middle East, and TechSoma Canada.
TechSoma Africa, TechSoma Canada,
and TechSoma Middle East.
TechSoma Media List.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Crista.
much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay.